Well, 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 what do we have here? New York Islanders beat reporters going out there and talking about the Western Canadian beat. Interesting. So, I'm gonna be honest, I actually had multiple plans to go out there and make videos about this player in today's show. The Vancouver Canucks are gonna go out there and play off against the Maple Leafs later today, which is always gonna be a fun time. But one of the top-tier superstars on Vancouver who has not been playing like a top-tier superstar, you know him, you maybe love him, it's Elias Pettersson. And I was actually going to make a video about some of the comments that were made about this guy, just address some of the rumors and all the stuff that has been said, because yesterday on Sportsnet 650, Jannik Hansen called PETEY a black hole. There have been rumors going around, really ridiculous and out-of-nowhere rumors about the Pettersson and Miller feud or the situation with Miller's leave of absence and everything, just ridiculous things that have been talked about. And so heading into Saturday, February 8th, I was kind of thinking to myself, we might have to make a video just talking about PETEY's on-ice impact and just shutting down a lot of the rumors. Rumor boys are going crazy this time of the year. But instead of talking about the PETEY black hole situation and making some sort of an interstellar-based thumbnail with Elias Pettersson's face in the middle of a black hole, we are going over to the New York Islanders because we have ourselves some updates from Islanders beat reporters as to what the Isles could be looking at here. As always, this show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description to save some money in your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel all in the process. And if we start things out, we're going over onto Anthony LaRocco. He's a reporter for the Colorado Avalanche, so don't ask me what he's doing in on this trade discussion here, but he does stuff for Colorado, Carolina, on the hockey news, and he's the co-host of the Big Apple Hockey Podcast. He went out there and tweeted this earlier this morning. As others have said, I can confirm that the New York Islanders are indeed trying to extend Brock Nelson. And of course, they're also trying to acquire a particular Swede that plays in Western Canada. I wonder who. And okay, Swedes that play in Western Canada. Ooh, Victor Arvidsson. That's a good one, right? Rasmus Andersson. Yeah, Western Canadian guy, a Swede. No. I think he's going out there and talking about Nils Höglander. Oh, get off of my hog, baby. You can't be doing that. Of course, though, he's talking about Elias Pettersson. Let's go over to another tweet published by Stefan Rosner. Given what was reported regarding Noah Dobson being shopped by the Islanders in a potential deal for a top-end offensive talent, I reached out to Dobson's agent, Andrew Mahoney, to see if there was anything going on. He had no comment. Yesterday, we had spoken out about the idea of the Isles targeting Pettersson and there being some sort of a reciprocal interest in Noah Dobson from the Vancouver POV. But it turns out we had ourselves yet another update from today beyond the tweets themselves that dive into some extra info. Stefan Rosner published this earlier last month. And I know what you're thinking, last month, what are you doing? This is all old stuff, and I do think it's old stuff, but the fact is, some of these ideas are still relevant today, and at the same time, I don't remember if we actually talked about this stuff on the YouTube channel, which, it kind of is par for the course. We were talking about a lot of other Vancouver things around January period of the season. Lots of Miller trade talk at that time. But I'll leave a link in the description to this Stefan Rosner piece from a month ago. The Islanders have inquired about Vancouver's Elias Pettersson, because some of the quotes from the sources involved are really interesting. Per industry sources closer to the situation in Vancouver, the Islanders are one of many teams that have inquired about PETEY. The Islanders have 100% checked in more than once. Pettersson and Horvat are very tight. And included in the body of the piece is a video of Bo Horvat and Elias Pettersson on the bench. It's when they were playing at the All-Star game in 2023. Bo Horvat and Elias Pettersson connect for one last hoorah. And this is honestly kind of sad. It's really sad. Seeing Pettersson so happy with his former captain after getting traded to the Islanders in the Beauvillier-Ratu first-round pick trade, that was all around the time of the All-Star break, so there was still a little bit of a discrepancy with the diversification of the lines and stuff, so you see Bo, even though he's on the Islanders, playing for the Western Conference Pacific team, and him and PETEY, they exchange some nice interactions there. It's really sad to watch this, honestly. But the article then says this: Horvat, who played with Pettersson from 2018 until he was dealt to the Islanders on January 30th, 2023, served as his captain for 3.5 seasons. Oh god, yeah, was Horvat's reaction when the Hockey News asked him if he'd want to play with Pettersson again. He's a special player. He's a really good person. He's a special player that I respect a lot. I've had a lot of good success with him too in the past. But yeah, if I got the chance to play with him again, I would love to. We could use him. And so with this in mind, I do kind of find it funny how, firstly, there is this very determined and established link between Elias Pettersson and the New York Islanders that has been documented by these Islanders beat reporters. But secondly, I find it very interesting the dynamic of it all. Just what Elias Pettersson could look like playing for New York alongside of Bo Horvat and potentially facing off against JT Miller every other weekend in the New York area. Imagine that, the prize fight. We're not going to have to wait for the Four Nations Face-Off tournament to see Pettersson versus Miller. We can see it every other weekend on Prime TNT. That sounds amazing. And rivalries aside, I would find it kind of interesting just to dive into the Canucks and their problems here. Because a few years ago, the situation was, oh, the Canucks are really good down the middle. They've got Pettersson, Miller, and Horvat, and that's one of the best center cores in the NHL. The 1, 2, 3, you can't beat that. And now, 5 years later, we're saying, yeah, no, the Canucks need centers. Elias Pettersson is not playing like a top center. Their defense is good. Don't get me wrong, they traded away JT Miller for the pieces that they used to acquire Marcus Pettersson. They've got Elias Pettersson, he's pretty good. Quinn Hughes and Hronek, yeah, guess what? They traded away Horvat to get the pieces to get Hronek. So the D-core is pretty reasonably good now for Vancouver. But up front, they need centers. So it's kind of like a flipped reverse situation from what we had seen a few years ago where the defense was bad and the center core was really, really good. So I don't know, I just wanted to go out there and give some updates here. Islanders beat reporters yet again reporting that Pettersson is on the crosshairs for this New York Islanders team. Just based off of all the chatter, like I know we had already determined that the frontrunners, quote-unquote, were Buffalo or Columbus, but now with the Islanders heading into the mix, and with the beat reporters talking about it too in their own local media sphere, I do think that we need to give some thought to the Islanders. They have some guys that are pretty good at forward. I mean, Matthew Barzal is a local Coquitlam guy, so getting that kind of a player in Vancouver would be pretty great, although could he be a number one center? That's the issue there. Maybe, if you try to play your cards right, you get Barzal and a pick and a prospect or something, you play Barzal with Besser, and then you trade that pick and a prospect for another center, like a Josh Norris or something. Like, top end, absolute top end, you might not be getting the best out of Barzal and Norris in comparison to what you'd get out of Miller and Pettersson, but if they can just be okay and have the defense do their thing, you call up Lekaramaki, you give him a scoring role, if everything is able to fall into place properly, I can see a world where the Canucks are able to succeed with a roster that looks like that. It's just, the odds of that happening, I'd say maybe are like 1 in 10, 1 in 15. It's not 2 for sure, so I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The Islanders are really getting in on these Elias Pettersson trade talks, and I want you to let me know your thoughts. What do you think a return could be? Obviously, the ideal situation that we had talked about yesterday, Noah Dobson. But at the same time, we did see some pushback in the replies. Hey, do the Canucks need Noah Dobson? Their D-core is already all right. If they get Dobson, sure, their D-core would be the best D-core in the NHL, I would say. Hughes, Dobson, Hronek, Marcus Pettersson, and then Elias Pettersson and Soucy or Myers or whatever on the third pair. That would be one of the best D-cores in the league. But is that more of what Vancouver needs, or would it be better for them to put the focus on scoring? I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.